Are you dating, single, and you're trying to demystify the whole dating experience? Are you tired of being on the streets and you're saying, this time next year, I want to be married? So, I am going to be reacting to Pop the Balloon or Find Love right now. And I'm going to be giving you all the dating advice and dating tips along the way. So, watch along with me. And I'm really excited because I feel like this show be showing a lot of things around what's going on. I think it shows the clowns, the characters, and just like how dating is in real life. So we're gonna watch all together now. Um,
All
and we're
right,
gonna
well, that is
finish.
all the balloons popped. We thank you for coming on, giving us some laughs.
Yeah, like
Oh, well,
this
let's get
dude
right
was
back
not
to it.
serious. He was not serious.
You
He was definitely not serious at all. All
know?
right,
What's
y'all.
going
I'm
on
watching
right
Pop the
now? Single
Balloon and I'm
guy.
reacting to it in real time. So let me know. Write any comments. Let me know any details, any things.
Hello,
All
welcome
right, let's see what
in.
this dude is
What's your
talking
name?
about, y'all.
My name's James Moore.
James, what do you do?
Okay, he's a nice guy.
I work in software and IT right now.
Okay,
Oh,
nice.
okay. IT
Very
guy.
fun.
He got
Fun, very
money.
nice. All right. What are some things I could do for fun?
Hang out with friends. I
Okay.
kind of into gaming, so a
Okay.
little bit of
I
that.
love
I
that.
do like
Very
music,
simple.
music production. I'm pretty spontaneous, so
Okay.
lately this year I went to Thailand for 2 months.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so I'm pretty
Okay.
open to
He's
like doing fun stuff, but
exposed.
just
A
kind of
man who
keep it like
travels. That's the
to
type
what
of
I need
man we
to.
want,
I feel
y'all
like it'll work
ladies.
out a
We want a
lot.
man who's
So
been
fitness is a big for
somewhere.
me.
Got it. What are some things to look for in a woman?
Pretty much just chill, down to earth,
Okay.
kind, nice, kind of just as herself,
Yep.
really involved in what she wants to do for career wise
Yep.
work. Like has something she's passionate about
Okay, y'all. So
as
this
well.
is
Like
a
I find
rare
that
breed. This
kind of
type of
motivates me
man,
throughout
you
the day
don't
to
see
find
them
that time
like
out as
that.
well.
Okay.
So
So, but let's see where the F up is.
yeah.
Sometimes these men
And
come
what
with
are some
K
deal
leg,
breakers?
as we like to call it.
Deal breakers.
Let's see what his deal breakers
So
are.
I would say kids, but the thing is, I'm not against kids because I have homegirls and friends that have children.
Yep.
The thing is, for me, is that the girl that I get together with, I want to have a family with, so I
Yep.
want to start from the beginning. So that's probably the reason why I
Okay.
would mention
I want to
that.
pause this right here because the number one question I get from women is I'm a single mother and I want to be able to date. Is dating for me? Now, I believe that if you are a single woman, you can still get a man. I don't think that it's impossible. I feel like there are plenty of men out there who will date a woman with children. But here's the catcher, right? I think you need to be with a man who also has a child or has children, or you have to be with a man who's much older and he's ready to take on the responsibility of children, because to have the responsibility of being with a woman is one thing and taking care of you, and a lot of women want providers. It's another thing that you have children and now he has to come into the fold and take care of those children too. So I think as a woman you can definitely be with the man if you are a mother, but you have to think about the nuances of that. I think the other nuance here that a lot of women miss out is the chances lower as far as the type of man you get if you have multiple baby fathers and obviously just different children, different men. Thank you, Ed. He said I have flawless skin. And if you like what I'm saying, y'all make sure to like. This is how TikTok knows to keep pushing this video out there, and YouTube. But yeah, I feel like a lot of women just kind of don't read in between the line when it comes to these nuances. I feel like you can definitely get a man if you are a mother, but if you have multiple fathers or you are in a situation where you have multiple kids, I think a lot of times for a man that doesn't have any children, probably 2 kids is a limit. I think after you have 2 kids and he has no children of his own, I do think that gets really complicated because he sees you as like, oh, this must be an expense or a liability. You're trying to push your situation on me. So that's another thing that I want y'all just to be mindful of. Let's continue watching this
And
show. We're
something that's
watching
kind of
Pop the
just
Balloon.
honestly like
Just give us some insight.
not common. I think it's kind of the things I could really mention. So
Okay.
yeah.
This guy's
Alright,
very
so
normal
we
so
did get
far.
popped
That's
down
what I
there.
like.
Going over there and see why they ended up popping.
Okay. Let's see why she popped the balloon, y'all.
All right, we can have your name and age.
Hi, I'm Zola Stone. I'm 31.
Okay.
So, why did you end up popping your balloon?
Um, I feel like we have a lot in common. I do music as well. I'm a recording artist, but I feel like you probably want a girl that's more like clean,
Why are you assuming that? Why are you assuming?
and I'm just more edgier.
Okay.
You know, you probably want the clean, classy look.
I'm
Yeah.
into the tabs, just looking at your appearance, so you're kind of what I like, just saying.
I don't know. I just kind of figured, oh, he's probably not gonna like the face tats on me, or you know.
What made you think that?
He's just so like clean, like perfect.
I like,
like
whoa.
very, maybe too strict. I don't know. I might be too free. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
understand what's going on with
That's
this
the vibe of
woman.
it. Like keep it classy, clean, and I'm also a traveling exotic
Yeah.
dancer, so
I
probably
don't.
not gonna like that.
Okay, y'all. I don't really understand what's going on. Ladies, don't try like I think a lot of women self-select and they feel like, oh, this man's not gonna want me. I'm not his type. Ladies, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't self-select. Let the man choose you. You know, I think the main challenge I have with this show a little bit is when it's a scenario where the women are on the other side and the men are picking. I feel a lot of times what's happening, or not even the man is picking, actually the women are choosing. I really feel that women need to like look good, look soft, look amazing. And I feel like they need to allow the man to make the choosing. That's I think there's just an order of things. I think it gets really complicated when you're the one trying to choose well, you're the one trying to choose the man, because a lot of times you're just self-selecting and you're making an assumption that he's not that into you or there's some weird scenario going on. So I don't really understand what's happening here. But also, y'all, I want y'all to share any questions you have around dating, around just even femininity. I feel like it's so important that all women are really feeling their full feminine self. And also, I just feel that dating is difficult these days, right? I feel that dating is not what it used to be. Even, you know, I was single a couple years ago, and I feel like the 3-4 years ago and now it's like night and day. I think number one, the dating apps have made it extremely difficult for people to date. Like, I feel like it's so complicated to find a man or find a woman on a dating app. I don't think it really sets us up. And, you know, let me talk about dating apps for a bit, because I think I get so many questions around like, should I use a dating app? Should I not use a dating app? So here's my thing about dating apps. I feel like dating apps take out how dating is supposed to be. I think dating is supposed to flow. It's supposed to be natural. I feel like this scenario of you having like hundreds and hundreds of choices to choose, I don't feel like that is the proper approach when it comes to dating. And I feel like it makes people disillusioned. Another interesting thing about dating apps, y'all, is that funny enough, so I read an article that said that 20% of, so women, 80% of women only choose 20% of men, right? And I thought that was really weird, right? So essentially what it was saying is that 80% of y'all that are on these dating apps are choosing the same 20% of men on the dating apps. And so these group of men have all the options in the world, right? And they're sitting real pretty. And they're like, oh, I have this option and that option and that option. And they move accordingly. And this is around all men. So I can only imagine, y'all, on for Black men, I'm pretty sure it's closer to like 10% of men, like they get all the women, or maybe it's like 30%. Like, I think it's really crazy. And this is another reason why I really don't encourage women to be on dating apps. So one thing I will say about dating apps is that you should use dating apps as like either a practice, a testing ground, just to see like, okay, what works, like what pictures are working, or like testing how to communicate with men, or trying to figure out how to read the red flags with men. That's how you should use dating apps. I don't think you should use dating apps as like, oh, it's the only way I can find men, or it's the only way I can go out the house. Like, no, you know, you should be able, honestly, y'all, the true test, if you are a baddie, the true test of if you are a feminine, soft woman, is you should be able to step outside every time you step outside. And when you come back into the house, before you get back to the house, somebody should have approached you or said something to you or smiled at you or winked at you. If that's not happening consistently enough, then something's going on. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix this dating thing. And and the reason why I also talk about this so confidently is because I'm married and I still get men to hit me. Like I still get men approaching me, looking at me, trying to figure out my situation. I still do. And I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Because I just give off this energy. And I think what's another interesting thing is I'm gonna tell y'all a story because I think storytelling is like the best way to get some education out there. So I was at a party the other day, and at this party, there was a couple of single men there. And of course, I'm always interested in single men, and I'm always interested in why are they single, what's the situation. Now, funny enough, both of these single men were above the age of 35. In fact, one of them was over the age of 40. So I was like, why are you single? Like, what's going on? And you know what they told me? Send me, if you want to know what these men told me, I want y'all to like, heart, comment, let me know, like, what do you think these men were thinking? I'm very curious to know what you think. What was interesting was, okay, y'all harden. Someone said, are you not wounded? How am I wounded? I'm very curious to hear that. How am I wounded? That's an interesting comment. Okay, we're liking. So essentially, they said to me that there's no wives out there. That the women are not wives, the women are not moving like wives, the women are not doing what they need to do. And that's the reason why they're single. And I thought that was very strange. And I'm like, I literally am talking to single women every day. And I'm talking to women who are like, where are the men at? And these men over here are telling me that, oh, they're single and that there's no wives out there. And that, oh, just because I'm a wife doesn't mean that skill translates to these other women. And so I think the issue is there's this narrative of men who feel like women are not wives, women are not doing what they need to do. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but it definitely means that there is a block and there's a weird situation going on with men. And I don't know if it's because these men are seeing these girls on Instagram. You know, a lot of these women see all these things on Instagram. Oh, Mira says, I'm so pretty. Thank you so much. Okay, someone says the men are not moving like men when you happen to meet one. And I agree. Okay, another example, right, is I was also reading a data point that was saying that men are not approaching women anymore. So men between the ages of 18 and 25 are no longer approaching women. So comment, share, like, comment, whatever. Let me know, are men approaching you? Because that's another thing I want to know. I want to know if men are approaching. Someone said men are cowards. They just stare. I don't speak to men, first of all, because they're married. Creeps will make time for you. I agree. And that's the thing. So I think also I'm noticing that men are not approaching women anymore. Like it's definitely decreased. And let me tell y'all why. I have an interesting theory. So there's many theories, but one theory that my husband told me was that he feels like men are, because of the Me Too movement, a lot of men don't feel comfortable approaching women anymore because if like one little thing happens, maybe they just touch your shoulder or something, they feel like a woman's going to scream and say, I've been harassed, I've been touched. And so a lot of men feel some type of way about it, right? So that's what I'm hearing. What else are people saying? So Barra says, I think social media has distorted their views of women. Yeah. So Naya says social media and TV. Yep, I agree. I think social media and TV has done it. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Like, I remember I had to have a conversation with my husband about this because, like, before he started dating me, he had hundreds of women he was following, right? All these different types of women, you know, like none of them were like naked or anything like that, but you know, they're showing bikinis, they have the BBLs, they have all these things. And like a good year and a half into our relationship, he was following all these type of women. And I would keep seeing them. And mind you, he's not the type to like really like or comment, but I noticed from time to time, they would just be in his, he'd be following them. And I had to approach him. And I said, look, like, funny enough, him following these type of women with the BBLs, the baddies, all that. I don't really care as much. It's not like a jealousy thing for me because I know I look good. I'm confident in myself. My thing was more of it's actually washing your brain, right? And the issue now is I feel like a lot of men are seeing these women consistently. Can you imagine every day on your feed, you're seeing women who are half naked, women with BBLs, women with a specific look, a specific type. That's all you consistently see on your Instagram. Then eventually that's all you're going to know. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to know that there's women who are normal. You're not going to know that not every woman gets surgery, not every woman gets BBL, not every woman gets their breasts done. And you're going to think that's normal. You know what I'm saying? So I told my husband that it's a problem for me because I don't want you to pressure me into doing something that's not for me. If I get surgery, it's because I want to get surgery, not because I'm trying to keep up with the type of women you're looking at. So I think that's another thing. Unconventional says, I agree. Social media standards are ridiculous. Yeah, I agree as well. Like, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And then someone says, no men approach, it's cowardice. And that tells me who's wrong for me. So thanks. Yeah, I do feel like men are not approaching women as much anymore. And if you're a man on this stream, I want you to tell me what is going on. Like, why are y'all not approaching us? What's going on? I want to understand. Like, give me the insight, give me the tea, give me the details. And if you are liking this, please comment, like, as always. Someone else says, I agree with this. However, they talk horrible about these women. They do. So, let's go into another interesting insight. So the interesting insight about these type of women, if I look at my Instagram, the number one type of woman who follows me on my Instagram are these women who are on OnlyFans. They are strippers. They are what you call the BBL girls, the baddies. These are the highest group of women I've noticed. They're following me at a fast rate. I've seen two well-known porn stars that follow me on Instagram, like well known. Like if you are in that world, you know who they are, and they follow me, because despite having the body, the look, and the gaze of men, none of these men are wifing them up. That's the truth. And they're like now in their 30s, their 40s, and they're trying to figure out like, why can I get a man to wife me up? Like, what's going on? What's the situation? What's happening? So yeah, ladies, like just because you have a BBL, hola, Adriana. Just because you have a BBL, just because you think you the baddie, it doesn't mean nothing, okay? So someone said, I'm glad men don't approach me. Mostly are widely inappropriate, but they still follow and want to be noticed. Don't say that though, because you don't want to be the bitter woman. You don't want to be the bitter woman that doesn't have anybody who is not approaching you, looking at you. Like, you don't want that situation either. And I feel like we have to be very careful, ladies, because I also think a lot of times we go way too long without dating. And my biggest lesson I want to share to women is the number one reason why you are single is because you're spending too much time with the wrong man. I want you to hear that again. So the number reason why, ladies, you're single is because you're spending too much time with the wrong man. And so a lot of times when I'm talking to women, I'm coaching them, I'm trying to give them guidance. A lot of times what's happening with these women is that they are spending 6 months, a year, 2 years with a man who's not trying to commit to them. They have made it very clear, I'm not trying to commit to you. They have given you all the insight, their action. Nothing is showing you we are moving towards commitment, yet you there. Actually, I'm going to bring up a story. Because I was having brunch with my girl today. And she was like, Chika, can you talk about this? Can you talk about women who are spending too much time like around a man, like, and maybe the man just sees you as a friend, because men like companionship, right? They like partnership. They like to, have somebody around to laugh and joke around with, but they're not showing you anything past that, and they're being nice. And then what's happening is I know a woman who has been often, like, not even off and on because she never was with this man, but I know a woman who has basically been circling around like a bee with this man for 3 years. And it's really crazy. And let me tell you the story that she said to me. Good evening. Told me about this woman. So she was turning a 40. She was having this huge birthday extravaganza. And then, of course, she invites the dude that she thinks is supposed to be her husband, the guy that she's been forcing this relationship that is non-existent. And so the point of the day is when she's about to cut her cake and she's about to showcase, her 40. The guy was not even around. And actually what was interesting was, when you're doing a monumental birthday, you want different people to speak about you and share, their love and everything for you. The guy did not want to speak. He didn't want to get on the microphone. He was like, I'm just going to be in the back corner somewhere. And what's crazy was this happened a year ago and she's still chasing this man. Ladies, let's not do this. Let's not do this. I always tell women, and it happens every single time, when a man wants you, it will be crystal clear. It will be crystal clear. There is nothing you can do to get rid of this man. There is nothing, okay? This man is going to be in your face. He's going to want to do everything for you, right? And I always say this in the example of me and my husband. My husband before me did not want to get married. He thought he was going to be that rich uncle that just took care of his, his nieces and nephews. He did not see marriage in his life. What was interesting about his situation was he eventually, we started getting to know each other. We started dating. From day one, he was like, oh, this is it. I want to explore this relationship. Y'all, there was nothing I could do to get rid of this guy. Literally that night, he was like, I need to see you every day. And mind you, I was living in a different country. So let me take it another step, right? I was living in a different country. He was still living in the US. We met when we were on vacation. What happened was when we went on a date, he was like, I'm interested. So he said, hey, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. Let us actually date and go out every night. So we did. Then what was more interesting was at the end of 2 weeks, he extended another month so we could date. I want you to guess how many months this man extended his trip so we could date. And I want to share this as an example that if a man wanted to, he would. And he would do things he has never done before. And he will put himself in positions that may be uncomfortable just so he can date you. If you can guess the number of months, how long did this man stay to date me in a country he has not lived in since he was age 15? And mind you, he's 33. I want you to guess. Either put a number or a comment and let me know how many. Okay, we're saying 6 months, 6 months. Okay. How many months did my husband stay around so that he could actually properly date me? Okay. 2 months, 4 months. Okay. So ladies, my husband stayed in this country with me for 6 months. 6 months so we could date and get to know each other. What was interesting about this experience was at the end of the 6 months, he ended up basically going to my parents and letting them know he wants to do an introduction. Introduction is the first stage of getting to know each other, or basically it's like a proposal, but to the family. And essentially 7 months into us dating, we did a introduction or proposal to the family. So I want y'all to understand that men will do this. And mind you, he's never done this before. He's never engaged a woman before. He never was looking for a woman. In fact, the month before me and him met each other, he was actually telling his family he's not looking for a wife. He's not looking for anything serious. So I want y'all to understand that when you're dealing with dudes who barely could give you a good morning text, if you're dealing with a dude who cannot actually plan a date, you guys meet and you're sending follow-ups with him about when we're going to do a date. If you're dealing with a man who doesn't want to see you happy, he's not asking you about your goals. He's not asking about how you're doing. He's not trying to plan a trip for you. He's putting the bare minimum effort. Y'all need to go. You need to go and you need settled enough. A lot of women, whatever is presented to me, that's what I'm gonna take. Ladies, no. Ladies, no, no, no. You need to be patient for the man who loves you. He's gonna cherish you. He's gonna adore you. Don't ever mistake that for anything else. Don't ever think that another type of man who's giving you half the effort is the man for you. And ladies, it sounds crazy, but I'm saying this every day. Every day I am chatting with women who are dealing with men who are giving the bare minimum effort. And what's interesting is I think that's why the bare minimum effort boyfriend is actually trending right now on social media. I believe it's trending because a lot of women are experiencing men who are giving them bare minimum effort. And I tell ladies, it's very clear. Like, it's crystal clear. If you're not clear, it's not the right man. You know what I'm saying? If you're not clear, he is not it. If you're not clear, he's not the man for you, right? And so I also want y'all ladies just to let me know what y'all dealing with right now. And I love when you ladies and gents, because sometimes the guys get on here too, ask me questions, like ask me what you are dealing with. You know, what are some scenarios and situations that you're dealing with in your life? And I'm always more than happy to share that insight and share that information. Don't be shy. I get hundreds and hundreds of DMs from women like confused about dating, you know? And I just feel like dating can be confusing because women, I think, are so used to mixed signals. And I feel that women overanalyze. You know, you try to create logic around things that are not logical, and you're trying to make sense of something when there was nothing to make sense in. You know, so ladies, like, let's not confuse men. Like, let's not, like, men are actually quite straightforward, I feel. And I also feel that men actually 9 times out of 10 show you who they are the first time. I always tell women that men have a very difficult time hiding. They can't hide from you. They don't know how to do it. Like, maybe for a few weeks they can become Prince Charming and they can go above and beyond and they'll do all the things, and you know, you get swept up, but eventually they're going to show you who they are. That's the thing about men. So just pay attention to the flags, pay attention to the steps. Trust me, you are going to see it. I know for me, whenever I reflect on anytime I dealt with a man who really showed me pepper, it's because I ignored the flags. I ignored them and I was delusional. And I thought that that man was going to be something different. I thought the man was going to become my prince when he was a frog. And I did the mistake of thinking anything different. Men are also thinking they're the prize. So let's talk about that. So I think there's a couple of interesting things about men thinking they are the prize. They are not. Okay, so that's first. Let's talk about why men are not the prize. So men are not the prize because they cannot do this. See the stomach? There is something magical here. What's magical in here is the womb. And if you cannot ever bring a baby into this world, and even for women who cannot, but the fact that you have that power technically to bring life into this world, you are the prize. You need women. Without women, we cannot continue human existence. So we are the prize. We are the queens. Our brains are intellectually more superior. Women have a different way of seeing things and interacting with things. And so this is why I always tell women you are the prize. But I think the issue is a couple of things. So I feel like this is very acute for Black women. I do feel that, you know, all types of women are kind of at this crossroads where they're dealing with scenarios where men think they are the prize. But I feel like this is acutely happening among Black women. So what's happening, ladies, is that 80% of Black women, 90% of Black women want a man who's going to have 6 figures. He looks good. He's over 6 feet. He has a great job. He's just doing all the things. Like 90% of Black women want this type of men. The problem is this group of men know that. And they're a small group of men. They're very small. So probably for every 7 to 6 women, there is a man, right? And so the problem is the men know that, oh, like everybody's looking at me, everybody wants me, I'm in position, like everybody knows that. And so I think that's the main issue, is that all these women are going particularly for this specific type of men, and they don't understand that they're not in abundance. This is why I always tell Black women, ladies, like, date outside your race, kind of change your what you thought you were going to be with. So for example, if you look at my ex versus my husband, night and day difference. Like my ex was like a bodybuilder, basically, like chiseled abs, things like that. Very like kind of had a chin, like just very different. If you look at my husband, he's a little fluffy, like he's like a plushy bear. I love him like that, but he's very different than what I thought I was going to be with. But I feel like for me, what I was prioritizing was a man who is in purpose. You want to be with a man who has purpose. You want to be with a man who sees the world in this very clear way. You want a man who's going to lead you. You want a leader. You don't want a man who doesn't know how to lead you. You want a man that gives you princess treatment. So for me, that's what I was prioritizing. I wasn't prioritizing, oh, he's 6 feet and oh, he got to look like this. He got to be dark skinned. He got to be Denzel. I was not prioritizing that. I always tell women, the first thing you need to ask when you're on a date, and mind you, gauge the date, because not every man deserves this question. So if the date is going well and it's flowing and you guys are having great conversation, at some point at the date, you need to ask, are you in your purpose? And you need to be dead serious. Are you in your purpose? And if the man starts looking around and he's like, I don't know, or, I'm trying to figure out, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, because a man who's on his purpose cannot see you. He can't see a wife. That's the truth. A man needs to be walking in his purpose. He needs to be clear in his purpose so he can invite a wife in that's going to amplify his purpose. It's very straightforward to me, right? A lot of times when women are with men that are chasing their careers and they're just trying to, make money work, they're trying to figure out the world, that's not the right time to be with a man. Now, every now and then there are special scenarios where there's a man who is like, oh, I can build with you. I can take time to work this scenario with you. I can take time to build this future with you. But most of the time when a man is not his purpose, he can't see a wife. That's the truth. He can't see a wife. He can't see you. He can't see how you will amplify him. It's a no. So ladies, when you are on a date, right? Now, of course, I don't want you to be CIA. I don't want you to be, peppering him with questions where he's like, is this a job interview, or are we trying to get to know each other? So I always tell women, when you are on your first date, you want to be soft, you want to be pleasant, you want to be going with the flow, you want to be laughing, you want to be joyful, you want to give him a taste into this world that he could have with you. I don't know what this guy is saying, so please clarify. But yeah, you don't want to deal with a man who is not clear with his purpose. And I know for me, when I started dating my husband, he wasn't all the way in his purpose. But he was walking in it. He was very clear who he was. He was very clear what he was not. He was very clear on the steps he was taking to get to the right place. Like, he was very, very clear on that. And I feel like that's the type of man that you want. And you want a man who has goals, and you want a man who's ambitious. A lot of women, when I see a breakdown in marriage, it's because they weren't with a man who's ambitious. And like, ladies, this is the thing. I always tell people about this whole salary thing. There are scenarios where maybe you're with a man who's making less than you, but if he has a very clear plan and you see he's on the come up and he can surpass you, then you also need to be open to that type of man. I think so many women want an already packaged, hand done, here you go, man, package. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Look at Obama. And I always tell people, Obama's a great potential, or great example of what potential looks like. When you're looking for a man with potential, please look at Obama. Don't look at these dudes who are struggling out here and you're like, oh, that's potential. No, potential is a man who has a great education, has a great setup, he has the right job lineup, everything is in order, everything is in steps. He's able to clearly communicate with you this plan, this future he has. That's the type of man that has potential. Any other thing is not it. It's a fraud. It's a fraud. So I think that's the other interesting thing too, is that I feel like there's also this debate about potential versus not potential. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And like I said before, go read Michelle Obama's first book. Michelle Obama, actually her second book too, but both of her books really go into details about what she saw with Obama, what it looked like, and those are indicators of someone who is on the way. And I think the other interesting thing is if you had asked young Obama if he was walking his purpose, he could say he was, even when he was broke. Even when, his car had a hole in it, he was able to tell you, I'm in my purpose. I'm very clear where I'm going. I'm very clear on the path, on where I'm walking to. That's what you want. You want someone like that. Because if he has a path, he can lead you somewhere. And ladies, it feels so good to be with a man who can lead. There's a difference. And I'm speaking as a former alpha woman. I was the president of Alpha Ladies. Well, I am an AKA. I am Alpha Kappa Alpha. But I was also alpha in energy as well. And I felt like I had to do everything on my own. I felt like I needed to just pick everybody up. I felt like I had to pick everyone's burden. I didn't feel like I could let in help or support. And ladies, I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference when you can be with someone and you can lean back. It makes a difference. I think the first time I really felt this, and I was like, wow, there is a difference when you are with a man who can lead. I always tell this story about when I was going on vacation. So the first real vacation me and my husband had, we went to Mexico. And again, as an alpha woman, I was used to planning everything, every detail, booking the flights, booking the hotel, making sure everything was dotted. And I remember my husband looked at me and said, I know how to plan a vacation, right? And I was like, oh. And I had to lean back. And I was like, oh, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to someone stepping in and leading the show. And so that's what I did, ladies. I leaned back. I said, you got it. And I let him plan. And honestly, it's been like that ever since. Ever since I can't think of how many times I'm paying for a plane ticket. A lot of times my husband books the hotels. I just show up. He pays for the food. He takes care of everything. And that's how I want it. That's how I want it to be. I love being able to be on vacation and I'm relaxed and I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about what he's doing for me. So I think, ladies, that's the other thing you got to reflect on is, if you want to be an alpha woman has to be the boss. Are you ready to be the boss? Are you ready to take care of all the details in your life? Are you ready to have to think through everything? Like never have a moment of rest. And ladies, I'm asking you this question because a woman needs to have rest. We are meant to rest. There's a reason why the soft life was a movement and not the fake soft life movement. The real soft life movement is about resting your body, taking care of yourself. And if you're with a man that you got to constantly think and you got to be constantly working and you don't have a moment of rest, you're not going to want him. And eventually you're going to resent him, right? And there's a lot of things maybe I could potentially resent my husband for, but one thing I will never resent my husband for is I do feel like I can rest. I do feel like I have a chance to just be me. And I do feel like I am able to enjoy myself, And so, first of all, I want y'all to share where you guys are based, what city are you repping, where are you tuning in today? I'm really just enjoying. I'm just vibing with y'all. I'm just sharing with you insight and information about dating and femininity, and also I'm just sharing what I've seen and what I've experienced. And also I do talk to women. I coach them. I understand it. So, UK, I'm actually going to be in London soon. I'm loving it. Okay, the London people we having tonight. Okay, New York, Switzerland. Okay. Let's represent. And thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the flowers. Wow. Okay. I love it. So, ladies, let's continue. Let's continue this information. Atlanta, South Africa. I love it. So, I think Oh, wow. Okay. Someone really like went above and beyond with the flowers and everything. And my light just went out. So y'all can't really see. Okay, DC. I'm from the DC area. I'm from the DC area. So I think let's continue, y'all. So first of all, I want you to share any other comments or questions, anything I should focus on right now. I think the other thing, ladies, that I want to talk about is it's okay to be single, ladies. It's okay. And I know you may not want to hear this, but ladies, I feel like when you are single, that is the best time to explore where you're going. Like, it's the best time to know what you like, what you don't like. It's the best time to get settled in yourself. It's the best time to kind of understand you. So, okay, a question is how to remain detached while dating, anxious attachment survivor. Okay. And then what should I do with a guy that doesn't text me unless I text him? Okay, we will address both things. So I'm technically more of a secure attachment, but I do suffer from anxiety. So I do have anxiety and I do know what that looks like when it comes to um, being a relationship. And I think one thing that you need to understand is how to remain detached while dating is, ladies, you know, the key trick to getting a man obsessed with you and getting a man to love you is you loving yourself, right? If you fall madly in love with yourself and you love your own company and you do your own thing, that's how you actually change the dynamics of the relationship and you get your man to fall more in love with you, right? And it creates this sense of detachment because he understands you have your whole life, your whole thing going. So again, let me share an example. An example of this is when I first started dating my husband. Again, he was in my court, like he was in my country, in my city. I've been living in this place for a long time. I've established all these connections and relationships. And so he was saying what was very refreshing about me was we would go out and men and women were approaching me and they're like, "Hey, Chika, what's up? How are you?" You know, and he could tell I had my own network. I had my own life. I was connected. And he loved seeing that because he was like, you know, normally I'm the most connected person in the room. And it's just nice that I'm seeing someone being looked at. I think the other thing too is that women and men are constantly commenting on me, right? And so he knows, like, there's literally this trending sound going on right now where and I have a video of me, you know, basically saying like, your nigga need to know there's other niggas looking at you. Okay? That's the real tea. He needs to know other people are watching. Other people are looking. Other people are paying attention. Other people are like, wow, what's going on? It needs to always be like that. It can't be a scenario where no one is looking at you. You don't got your own energy, your own vibe. So I think that's another thing is falling in love with yourself. And ladies, I'm always going through this process. I remember literally today I was getting a massage. My husband gifted me a massage. And I was really reflecting on how can I create more detachment in my marriage. And it sounds crazy, but I was basically saying to myself that I really want my husband to understand I'm my own person, I'm my own woman, and I need him to always be missing me. Even if we're in the same space, he needs to feel like, where is she? Like sensing me, feeling me, missing me, right? And so I started saying, I need to do more activities for me. I need to travel alone by myself sometimes. I need to go out with my girls sometimes. I need to take myself out on a solo date. I need to sometimes gift myself. Like sometimes I should bring home flowers. And my husband's like, oh, where did those flowers come from? I'm like, oh, those are from me. You know, like he needs to see me adorning myself. The more he sees me adorning myself and loving myself and seeing other people, that's how you know it's going to create a sense of attachment, like detachment but attachment. I don't know if that makes sense. Creatively says the chase never ends. Yep, he should always be chasing you. Always be chasing you. That's the key thing. Like in this house that we're in, my husband be looking for me. He'd be like, where is she? You know what I'm saying? That's how it needs to be at all times. The other question is, what should I do with the guy that doesn't text me until I text him? You need to stop texting him. So ladies, let's talk about texting. Every time I do a video on texting, it goes viral every single time. And it's actually interesting to me because a lot of people do not understand texting and understand the etiquette of texting. If you want me to go into deep dive about texting, make sure to like this live or comment or share. So texting, ladies, number one, in the beginning of dating, you need to be the one leaning back. You should not be texting this man consistently. You should not be initiating every single text. You need to be the one over here leaning, and texting you. He's looking for you in the morning. He's texting you in the morning. So perfect example. The other day, I called my husband at night because he's currently in a different country. He's traveling with a friend. And my husband, I was calling him and he didn't call me back. And I was like, what's going on? But I went to sleep, right? And that's how my husband called me back in the middle of the night and was like, oh, I was up doing something. And then I didn't respond. Even when I woke up in the morning, I did not respond because I said, you need to come to me. And then he called me again because he was looking for me. Ladies, that's how the energy needs to be. Even sometimes when he texts you, you don't have to always immediately text back. Sometimes you need to like live your life. Like he needs to feel like, oh, she has other things going on for herself. Like she's not always just waiting around for me. I feel like I just saw this video you did. It's real. Stop texting him. What's the difference between breadcrumbing and the chase? So breadcrumbing and the chase. Let's talk about it. So breadcrumbing. So I'm gonna be very honest, ladies. I feel like men do not breadcrumb. I don't feel like men do it. I think it's something that women are supposed to do. So a great way to learn about breadcrumbing as a woman, right, is to read The Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene is a great book. And I love this book because it goes into the details of seduction and what does that look like and what does it mean. And specifically, he talks about the siren in chapter 1. The siren examples in real life was Marilyn Monroe and Cleopatra. And they just had this larger than life personality. They knew how to put on a show, right? And they had this like innocent, like childlike feeling and energy about them. That's really what made them special and amazing. And I also feel like Cleopatra in particular, she did a couple of things that got her really interested. So I think number one, she used to always wear this signature scent. She used to always like have this way of her eyes. Like she had these just different elements about her that made her interesting. And in the book, he goes more into details of what to do. Ladies, you shouldn't be, if a man is not giving you clear direction on what he wants, then let it be. Like, I think sometimes women are like, oh yeah, he told me he liked me, so that's how he's breadcrumbing me. No, a man can like you. Doesn't mean he wants to be in a relationship with you. No, I know I have men for years. Every time I posted a picture, every time I updated my status, they would go straight into my phone and say, oh, you look good, or what's up, or what's going on. And then when I respond, nothing happened. It was like a cycle. And I know men for years, they would do this. Like literally, I would update my status. They would immediately send me a DM. I would say, what's up? They would literally just say, oh yeah, it would be nice to see you. And that was it. No movement, no seriousness. So ladies, like, don't allow a man who doesn't show you action. I'm gonna say this over and over and over again. I feel like a lot of times women make that mistake of a man shows you a little bit of something and all of a sudden you're like all the way in. Like, no, that's not how it works. I think, let's see what else. What's the difference? Yeah, and let's go back to texting, ladies, because I feel like texting is a very interesting thing. And I think it's a thing that a lot of women tend to have an issue with as far as texting. So number one, when you meet a man, let him text you, right? So let him plan a date. He should text you a time and a place, and he should be the one setting up the date. So when I went on my first date with my husband, it was not a mystery. I wasn't following up like, where are we going to be? What's happening? We both said, this is where we're going to go. We confirmed it together. This is the location we're going to go. And then he literally followed up with me and said, hey, we're doing this time. And he even followed up with me again and said, hey, we are going to meet at this look. Oh, actually, he picked me up. Now, the only reason why I allowed him to pick me up was because I knew him technically. Like, this was someone I knew of. So that's the only reason why I felt comfortable. If you have never met him before, he's a stranger, I would not suggest that. I would not suggest that because there are crazy men out there. So I would suggest that he pays for your Uber, he pays for your Lyft. But other than that, I think that's what ladies we should be doing. And I feel like another thing about this is someone says go with the flow is a no-go. Yeah, and ladies, I think the only person that should be going with the flow is you, right? You should be flowing and just going with life and enjoying him. But at the end of the day, like, he shouldn't be messing you around like that. So someone says, how about a relationship of 1 year plus? Should I let him text me first? Yes. Wait, I'm confused. Y'all need to break this down for me. If you have been in a relationship with a man for a year, are you trying to tell me that you're the one texting or what's going on? And I think the other thing about texting, ladies, is that when you are texting a man, he should be texting you because of logistics, or you guys are trying to talk about something funny or interesting. Like, if you look at the text messages between me and my husband, it's logistics. Like, it's logistics. It's like, oh, I'm going to call you. It's like, we're doing this, we're doing that. There's not like much of a deep conversation on texting because most of the depth of conversations me and my husband have is in person because we live together, or he calls me. It's never like, I can't think of a day of me being with my husband and he texts me throughout the day and that was it. Like, I can't think of that. If my husband wants to communicate with me, he's going to call me. He's going to FaceTime me specifically. I'm going to see his face. He's going to see my face. We're going to talk. Even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, we're going to talk. I don't know this scenario where you guys are texting each other and that's the main mode of your communication. It should never be like that. Someone said recently he stopped texting in the morning for a good morning, baby, to good morning. Now he's barely texting. So I think you guys have been together for a year. So my real question is, do you guys see each other? Do you connect? Do you see each other in person? I would be more interested in that because, yeah, you can't be in a relationship for a year and then all of a sudden he just like weans off. I think there's something weird about that. And that's not really adding up to me. That's not making sense. So yeah, let's let's figure that out first. Like, I think that's the first question I have is like, okay, what's going on? So someone says we do see each other in person every weekend. My question is why just the weekends? Ladies, like, no. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If you the weekend boo, that means he got his own relationship in the meantime. Okay? Like, if he's only see you during the weekend, what's happening throughout the rest of the time? Like, where are you at? What's happening? I just think there's just so many interesting elements about texting. I think it's very interesting. So the person says, and now when he asks me to come, I would say I don't have transport, and he would say no problem. Yeah, I feel like, so let's talk about this long distance thing, because I think that's another interesting insight when it comes to dating. If both of you are long distance, I have a couple of comments. So I think the first thing I want to share is there should be a clear plan of when both of you will be in the same city, right? It should never be we're going on and on and on and we're not clear when we're actually going to be together for real. Like, that's a problem for me. I feel like you should have a clear strategy and plan around this. So someone said he works within the week from Monday to Saturday and I school from Monday to Friday. It sounds like you guys are young. And I feel like you shouldn't be stressing in any relationship if you're young. My advice, and this might be quite controversial, is that if you are, honestly, if you're under the age of 25, I don't think you should be in a real relationship. Like, I really feel like under the age of 25, you need to just be enjoying life. You need to be exploring different things. I think you need to figure out what you like and don't like. And I think the same thing for men. I feel like trying to be with anybody before the age of 25 is crazy. Like I don't think it does you any favors. And I feel like you need to explore life. And to be honest, your brain is still forming. So it's almost like you're prematurely getting into something that's so serious and your brain is not fully there. It's like it's trying to figure out who it is. Like, I think that's the crazy thing. Yeah, I think 29 is like just at the age where you want to start to um that's just at the age when you want to kind of get into the swing of things. Okay, y'all ladies. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Like, how did my video just go blank? That's kind of weird. Okay, we're back. Because last time I checked. Okay, y'all. But yeah, I feel like yeah, let's I think we gotta be real careful about that. Like, I think we have to understand that, yeah, I think anything below that, like, I didn't get married until I was 32, 33. And I'm very grateful that I took my time. Like, I'm really, really grateful that I didn't get married beforehand. Like, yeah, because I feel like any other time, it just would have not worked. It would have not worked. And I think I would have, I'm still like, I was still trying to figure myself out. I was still trying to figure out who I want to be. And and it's funny because I didn't really go into my femininity until I was like in my late 20s. I was still trying to figure that part of me out. I just really reflect on if I can't imagine if I had dated or married my ex. Like, that just, he was very immature. He was very immature, and we were just in two different lives, like two different lives, two different situations. So it's a no for me. It's definitely a no for me. It's really, really crazy, y'all. It's really, really crazy. Um, Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to. There we go. Okay. So yeah, ladies, like, take your time. Don't rush a relationship. I understand everybody wants to be married, but trust me, ladies, like, it's worth it when you take your time and you don't rush into a relationship. You don't get into anything beforehand. Just take your time, ladies. Really, really take your time. Wow. TikTok wants me to be playing games. But yeah, like, just take your time, y'all. I think that's another piece of advice I really want to share. And I think another thing, ladies, the reason why I feel like women should not be dating before 25 is because you need to travel the world. An interesting feedback I got from a man was there was a girl he was dating and they went on vacation together and he felt like she wasn't exposed. And he talked about how he was like, yeah, like, she just had so much to learn. Like, I could tell she's never traveled before. And you don't want to feel like he is putting you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should expose you to things. I think men should expose you to different parts of life, but I don't feel like it should be a scenario where your first time out of the country is with this man. Like, it's not refined. It's not refined. It's not refined at all, ladies. Like, it's really, really not refined. So, let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's not let's travel the world a bit. Let's, even get a little bit of money, like, I think another thing about dating too early is you also want to be in a situation where you set the standard, like, my husband met me and was like, oh, like, this is how she is. She looks like this. She feels like this. this is what she wears, this is how she looks like, this is how the type of clothes she wears, this type of things she's exposed to. Like you want there's so many different things that you want a man to see about you. You don't want the confusion. And I think a lot of times women prematurely end up with a man and you have not set the standard. Like you should set the standard of love for yourself, right? It shouldn't be the other way around. Like I just think so many times like women are like ended up with men and they're letting the man set the standard. No, you need to set the standard. You need to set the standard of this is how I am. It shouldn't be anything less. It really shouldn't be. I'm just enjoying the vibe. I'm enjoying the vibe. And I'm happy that I'm happy that I took my time. I think I'm happy that I did not rush into marriage. As crazy as that sounds, it sounds crazy, but I'm very happy that I didn't rush into it. I think if I had rushed, it would have been a huge, huge mistake. Huge, huge, huge mistake. All right. Hello. Hi, Mila. How are you? I'm enjoying this, y'all. I really am. I'm enjoying being a woman. I'm enjoying womanhood. I'm just enjoying my grown era. And I feel like as you get older, it gets sweeter. It does. It gets sweeter when you know yourself. It gets sweeter when you're very confident in yourself. And you don't get confident until you know. Oh, Danya says, I'm so good because of you. How are you doing? I'm doing lovely, y'all. I'm alone. You know, my husband traveled, so but I'm gonna surprise him. I'm gonna pop up on him on a different country. He gonna be confused. He gonna be like, how did this girl end up here? He gonna be real confused. Like, how did you get here? Someone says, exactly. If you don't love me the way I want, I'm not settling for what he's giving me. Exactly. And I feel like it's my North Star. My North Star of love is myself. I've noticed that because I am clear on how I love myself and I'm very clear on my limitations, I know what abundance looks like. Gia says you're glowing. Thank you. But yeah, I'm clear. I'm crystal clear on me. And I think that's the beautiful thing about setting your standard and setting yourself. I feel like too many women rush into relationships. They don't know themselves. They don't have their standards. They don't know. You're just going with what the man shows you. And then a lot of times that man has set what other men will see of you, you know, and it's crazy to hear that, but that's the truth. You don't want that. You don't want that. Danya says you're beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gents, because I know there's men on here. I'm gonna go. I need to start to decompress because I'm gonna have an early morning. I'm traveling tomorrow, but I will be doing a live every Sunday. Every Sunday. Maybe not this Sunday because I'm traveling, but I will be doing a live every. I'm gonna try to do more lives. I'm gonna connect with y'all more. I'm gonna be vibing with y'all. Y'all are fun. All right. Thank y'all.